It's December of 2024, and we are at Rotterdam Junction, New York, at the entrance to Berkshire and Eastern's yard, where a Pan Am SD40-2 awaits the arrival of a westbound freight train. Rotterdam Junction is the western terminus of the Berkshire and Eastern. Their yard runs parallel to the CSX Selkirk Subdivision before tying into the line at CPRJ. CSX uses road freights, like the M381 that we saw earlier, to pick up and drop off the cars for B&E. On the B&E side, they run trains RJED and EDRJ between here and their classification yard in East Deerfield, Massachusetts, a few times a week, the latter of which is the train arriving this afternoon. Powering today's EDRJ were two of the last four active Pan Am SD40-2s, a railroad that had once rostered a large fleet of the type. This would be one of their final trips on the B&E, as the old EMDs were turned over to CSX in early 2025, who had acquired them through their purchase of Pan Am in 2022. The end of six-axle EMDs on the former Boston and Maine was truly the end of an era, and sitting in between them on EDRJ was their replacement. Big wide-cab C40-8Ws bought by B&E's owner Genesee in Wyoming to take over their duties, which look sharp in their new orange paint. Another C40-8 also tags along for the ride to complete the consist. Change is one constant on the railroad, and I will be documenting the full shift from Pan Am Southern to Berkshire and Eastern operations in an upcoming video. But for now, let's enjoy this last stand of Pan Am's EMD 6-axles. EDRJ pauses short of the road crossing to cut the power off of its train and pull into one of the yard tracks to tie down the set. With the power now out of the way on a yard track, B&E RJ1, the Rotterdam Junction switcher, lines the switches and backs onto EDRJ to pull the consist into the yard with another of Pan Am's final, 40 2s for power. 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 40 2 As RJ1 builds its heir, we can't help but marvel at the fact that this engine, built in 1975, was about to pull 80 cars all by itself, a true testament to the durability and ruggedness of the EMD SD40-2. Pretty soon, RJ1 was underway, lugging EDRJ into the yard. As the SD40 era along Pan Am Railways, now Berkshire and Eastern, fades into history, let's take a look back at these engines when they were still an essential part of moving freight across the Pan Am. My first encounter, of which I still have footage saved, with a Pan Am SD40 was in May of 2020 as number 3403 trailed on NS Train 11R heading south to Binghamton. Through the Pan Am Southern partnership with NS, these SD40s would commonly find themselves mixed in with the black horsehead power on the trains between Binghamton and East Deerfield Yard in Massachusetts. The 3400 series SD40s, numbered 3400 through 3404, were former QNSL motors that Pan Am acquired in the mid-2010s. On the property long before that, though, was the 600 series, two of which would powertrain POED this evening in the summer of 2020. Eventually, one of the 600 series engines would be renumbered to 3405, making 6 total 3400 series SD40s that would remain in service into the B&E era. The following day, we are at Pan Am's yard in Waterville, Maine. Number 3403 has just arrived from Portland as part of the power set on train POWA along with some Guilford Jeeps. We'll see it again later. Waterville is home to Pan Am's central maintenance facility, which has been kept in use by CSX since acquiring Pan Am in 2022. It is also home to Pan Am's locomotive deadline, where retired power awaits scrapping. In this line, we see some of the retired SD40 fleet that once ruled Pan Am's network, along with other decommissioned power from Pan Am and its predecessor, Guilford Rail System. Later that evening, we caught up with train WAPO departing for Portland, with Snoot Nose SD40-2 number 606 leading and 3403 in the consist as well. I did not get to see the golden era of Pan Am SD40 operations. Less than a year into starting this YouTube channel, I documented the first Pan Am C40-8s arriving on the territory, and I didn't document anything else Pan Am until the sun was setting on the old EMDs. However, I am glad that I was able to see just a little bit of what was once so common in New England, and I hope you enjoyed taking a look as well. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.